3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Good morning. This is John Brescher, Chair of the Government Study Committee. Please permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present. Can you hear me? Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Rick Atherton.
Aye.
Campbell Sutton.
Here.
Tucker Holland.
Aye.
Linda Williams.
Aye.
And Curtis Barnes.
True.
All right. This open meeting of the Town Government Study Committee is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order on March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we've been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the Governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For those members of the public that have joined via Zoom for this meeting, the Town Government Study Committee is convening by video conference via Zoom app as posted on the town's website and identifying how the public may join. For Zoom meetings, please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and to take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website. Unless otherwise noted, the public is encouraged to follow along using the post agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Now we're going to turn to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct over business to ensure accurate meeting minutes. The chair will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude the remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone and computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly, and for any response, against the floor to you, and to state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in conversation with other members, please do so through the chair. For items of public comment, after members have spoken, the chair will forward public comment to those members of the public that have joined via Zoom. Members of the public that wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged by and speak through the chair. Finally, each vote taken will be conducted by roll call vote. All right, let's get to the first item on the agenda, which is the approval of the agenda. May I have an approval of the agenda as written?
So moved.
Okay.
Seconded.
Thank you. Motion made and second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, let's do roll call vote. Rick Atherton.
Aye.
Campbell Sutton.
Aye.
Tucker Holland. Thank you. I saw your mouth move. Linda.
Yep.
Curtis.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye as well. All right, we punted the minutes until today. It's not on the agenda, but if everyone wants to do them for today, great. If we want to punt them even further, that's fine with me. You tell me if everyone's had a chance to review the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes as written. Second.
Okay, motion was made and seconded. Let's see. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Let's do a roll call vote. Rick Atherton.
Aye.
Campbell Sutton.
Aye.
Tucker Holland.
Aye.
Linda Williams.
Aye.
Curtis Barnes.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay. Discussion regarding the finalization of the report to the select board and town meeting. Topics to include in the report and motions related there too. So Rick and Tucker, thank you for sending out the motion this morning. I'm not sure if everyone has had a chance to look at it. But if one of you wants to just go through it quickly, that would be swell.
Well, I think I'll be happy to start and Tucker can chime in. I think we have felt, I think all of us, that a better coordination and a review of the charge to all of our committees, although, would be wise. And this is simply a motion or resolution that we make that clear, concise recommendation to town meeting that the select board undertakes such a process. And in earlier drafts, it was, as I said, with a little bit of a chuckle, we started at 6 months, but there are a lot of committees. And to actually get through a serious review and conversation, probably biannual works if they're spread out, reasonably evenly over that time. They don't have to all go at once. And the latest actual wording of the proposed motion came from Tucker this morning following my earlier email to you all. It's just 2 sentences. Tucker, you want to add to that?
No, I think you've captured it, Rick.
I don't know about that. I have a question on it. So we're endorsing an annual joint meeting that meets biannual review?
I'm confused too.
So I think there are 2 elements to the version that I sent around this morning. One is basically endorsing, as Rick said, I think the idea is better communication between boards. So the first sentence, it talks about an annual joint meeting between all elected boards to coordinate around the strategic goals of the community as reflected in the master plan and the strategic plan of the select board. And then secondly, there is a biannual review between the select board and the committees under its purview, if you will, to evaluate the charge, again, in light of those 2 guiding documents as to the work of those committees. And, there would be discussion between the board and those committee or each committee about, the coordination there. So it's sort of two notions in there.
So could we separate it out? Because in the first sentence, you're dealing with the board, Nantucket boards, right?
Elected boards.
Yeah, and then in the second sentence, you're dealing with
Appointed committees.
Appointed committees or commissions, right?
Yep.
And I'm wondering if for clarity, we could separate those 2.
That's fine.
And maybe it would only help me visually, but otherwise, as a full paragraph, it gets confusing.
You got a problem with the language.
Tell us how to fix it.
First off, the selectmen have nothing to do with planning, zoning, or Concom, Zippo. And they have nothing to do with collective town goals and all that crap. They're under state statutes, bylaws, local bylaws. It has nothing to do with anything to do with goals and objectives by the selectmen, period. Or a strategic plan or a master plan. Plus, it's the word boards is incorrect. It should be boards and commissions because 2 of them are commissions, not boards. So I think we got a big problem with that. Community priorities have nothing to do with regulatory boards at all. If we're talking about planning commission, that's different. But again, the Nantucket boards is incorrect. It should be boards and commissions. The rest of it, endorses biannual review of the charge each committee established by the select board and by state or local laws or regulating. Again, there's a problem with that language because it's local and state laws really don't have anything to do with traffic safety or abatement, tax abatement committee or scholarship committee. So this is not working. Such a review should involve the select board and the commissioner committee and are you talking about us, commission or committee? Are you talking about the government study committee? Then put TGSG and not commissioner committee because that's not identifiable to anybody. Those 2 words are dangling without being referenced to something. And try to determine the charge and mission of each remains clear in support of the community strategy. Master plan is in the process of being adjusted now. It's like work through your plan. Again, it's vague. The review I have a problem with this whole thing, and I have from the beginning. But if we're going to go ahead and approve something like this, it has to be correct. I can correct it, but I can't correct it right this second unless we fix it while I'm talking about it.
Campbell, your hand's up.
Yeah, excuse me. I understand what Linda is saying as far as the state statutes and things. However, I believe it is in the best interest of the town and all taxpayers that there be a coordinated effort across town governments and boards and commissions to be headed in the same direction. We want to be in the same boat, rowing in the same direction. And right now we have a lot of, circular motion, actually many different boats going in different directions. And I think this is a great way to suggest that we start focusing them on a particular direction. I like the inclusion of the strategic plan and the town master plan. And one of the reasons I think it's important is because neither of those are created with input from the voters until they're done. And then it's like, well, here you go. And if you don't like it, where were you? Well, it's not a public, what should be a public process isn't. And I think that having even if the Board of Selectmen are not part of the state charge, I continue to feel it's very important for everyone to have the same touch points, if you see what I mean. I don't want to go on indefinitely, but maybe I got my point across.
Tucker, your hand was up next.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think the basic, it's no problem, obviously, to clarify, that it's boards and elected boards and commissions and that sort of thing. I mean, if you boil the essence of this down, it's not like saying one has authority over the other, or we're violating any kind of state laws and underlying enabling legislation and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, we're basically saying, gee, wouldn't it be good if the right hand knew what the left hand was doing here in Nantucket? And that's what we're promoting. So however we get to language that encourages that and not have these silos operating without any sense of responsibility to the greater good of the community, that's what we're trying to do, in my opinion.
Thumbs up.
Linda, go ahead.
Again, I don't care what the strategic plan is related to the zoning board. I don't care what it is related to the subdivision control law. I don't care what it is on the Concom Wetlands Protection Act. We have state requirements, whether they run in consort with the town strategic plan or the master plan or not, has nothing to do. When I've sat on all those boards, except for Concom, but it's very much the same. It's under state laws and local bylaws that have nothing to do, and they cannot be crafted to have anything to do with a strategic plan or a master plan. They are when you are presented with a subdivision A&R, or you're presented with a special permit at whether the ZBA or the planning board, you must do it under state and local laws. It doesn't matter what the selectmen say they want to strategize on something, or they want to promote something. That is not how those boards work. So that whole first couple of sentences are a problem. If you want them to check in, which we used to do back in the day, the planning board side of it, if you want them to check in with the selectmen as to what is going on with these boards and process or whatever, that's fine. But they are not going to make decisions based on anything to do with strategic plans or master plans. The planning board has a little bit more flexibility with that, depending on how it's written this time. I have it right at the first time. But I've got a big problem with this, where you were using words should and all this other stuff and saying they have to check in with the selectmen as to where they're going, because that's not how those regulatory boards work. If it's traffic safety, that's one thing. If it's one of the other committees I've been on that sort of try to promote what the selectmen like us to do, that's different. But those regulatory boards do not do that. And I don't think we should get into a boondoggle by saying that they need to do that.
Tucker, is your hand?
The language is incorrect, various parts in here.
Okay, point. Thank you. Tucker, your hand is your hand still up, or is it up?
Yeah, it is now.
I don't know how to do this hand thing.
I'm just saying that I have no problem in the first sentence saying, move that the TGSC endorses an annual joint meeting between all elected Nantucket boards and commissions to discuss collective community priorities as reflected in these documents and to discuss areas of cooperation. Period. It does not, all it says is we encourage them to get together and discuss. And that's all that, and this isn't even a requirement. This is a suggestion on the part of this group. So,
Well, then how about adding another piece of that sentence? Acknowledging that these elected boards and commissions must adhere to state and local regulatory bylaws and et cetera, et cetera.
I'm going to interject. I don't think, I mean, again, I don't want us to get too bogged down in the language, because at the end of the day, this is not a charter change. It is, I think, basically a suggestion or a comment to the audience. And, look, we think that it would be nice if, for lack of a better term, the left hand knows what the right hand is doing, and that everybody's working towards a common good while still adhering to their own laws, regulations, mandates within the committee. But we think that it would be good if there was more cross interaction amongst the both appointed boards and committees, as well as the elected boards.
For what purpose?
Well, I think just to keep everybody informed, up to date. We can't change state law with this. I mean, we can't say, ask for people to do, things they can't with the zoning, can't violate the zoning code. But I think it makes, I appreciate the separation of powers, but I think it conceptually, it makes sense if it is once a year, every other year, whatever, for everyone to get together and say, hey, this is what we're doing. Or this is what our particular committee is doing. And that's it. Campbell, your hand's up.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in with a small example that I think we have had going on, and that is the sewer department, the DPW, and the water department working cooperatively to get projects done has been a great benefit to our community, but only started a few years ago. And if the utilities could get on board with it, then we could start headed in the direction of having more coordinated undergrounding of the utilities that is part of the master plan. And I find it very beneficial. It doesn't change what these people do in their, under their departments or groups, but it does simplify and is very cost effective for us. For when a water line is going in, let's check with the sewer, let's check with DP, let's have a powwow on it so that, hey, if we could do something with the sewer at the same time, that's great. And I think that's all this is really sort of getting to is that type of efficiencies. That's it.
Linda, your hand's up.
You can't force them to work together, first off. Second off, I'm still talking.
Nobody's
The
forcing.
HCC part of this was a problem with the electric company and those lines, those big poles and stuff, with the way they were running those lines and out to the electric company and stuff. They did not take into account what the HCC or Historic Commission said at all. And there's other things around town that they don't pay any attention to the HDC. And there was an agreement years ago about the HDC working with the DPW on bike racks and trash cans and certain things like that all over downtown. That went the way of the wind. You cannot force these groups to work together. And that's not going to be solved by let's have a kumbaya with the Board of Selectmen twice a year or once a year or how many years we want to do this. There are logistical issues that are not going to be solved by us having a kumbaya with the selectmen. That's a much larger issue going on here between HDC, Historic Commission, and other activities taking place because they pay no attention to those items. So there's a lot of problems with this thing. If we wanted to say coordination, improve coordination and communication among town entities, that would be a great thing to put in this paragraph. Maybe that would lead to coordination and communication between entities. That's what's missing.
Those are very good words, Linda. Tucker, do you think that's would fit in there anywhere?
Tucker, your hand's up.
Out.
Yeah, I think we could say, so I just was gonna, I mean, we got other stuff to do here. Like, so I would like to move a motion, and maybe not everyone's gonna agree with this particular thing, but personally, whether the boards end up, you know, working together better or not, I think this is the type of thing that some of the seasonal residents, you know, which was part of a big part of this whole discussion, would like to see better coordination, better transparency, better involvement between the boards, you know, regardless of whether there's authority over one, you know, one over the other. I just don't think it's a bad thing to have communication. So
Well, let's add that then, Tucker. I'm looking at it now. I've got it in a Word document at the moment. But when we get down to I've got already put the boards and commissions on the top. Such a review should involve the select board and the commission or committee. Random commission, committee, who are those commission and committee? What is that? Who is that referring to?
So I would propose, I think Tom Campbell suggested, you know, breaking these into two because they're really two different areas. But so in the first, you know, move that the TGSC endorses an annual joint meeting between all elected Nantucket boards and commissions to discuss collective community priorities as reflected in the town master plan and select board strategic plan, and
Other areas of cooperation or other areas of concern, or there's a word missing.
and other areas of potential cooperation and concern. Is that
Okay, hold on. Cooperation and concern. Okay, then the next sentence.
then a separate motion
All right, hold on, let me split it. Okay,
that the TGSC endorses a biannual review of the charge to each committee established by the select board. Maybe established isn't the right word, but this is intended to be for those committees that fall under select board
no,
appointment.
establish is the correct word.
Okay, established by the select board and by state or local by our laws or regulations adopted by the town.
Okay,
And then such a review should involve the board and the commissioner committee and
is
try
that
to,
general, it's not capitalized, that's why I'm saying.
yeah, that's fine. So uncapitalize those two and try to determine if the charge or mission of each remains clear and supportive of the community's strategic goals as developed in the master plan. And
Back it up. Such a review should involve the select board and the commissions or committees. You got to add an S there.
Yeah.
Committees, that's generalized, which is what we're
Yeah.
doing.
yeah,
And determine, and let's take out try
okay,
and determine if, because a lot of these committees aren't doing what they're supposed to do. They used to have a review every year and get rid of committees they didn't need. Rick may have been involved when that happened in the past. They haven't done that for years. And determine if the charge or mission of each remains clear and supportive of the community strategic goals as developed in town master plan. Now, some of those committees aren't involved with those things, with the town master plan or select board strategic plan. They've got individual charges, like the roads and rights of way, or, you know, certain other things don't really have anything to do with the master plan or the strategic plan. So we may have to add something in there. The charge and mission of each remains clear and supportive,
Of its mission.
and particularly of the communities, because them don't have anything to do with those things.
yeah, that's fine.
The scholarship committee doesn't, you know, that's things like that. The mission of each remains clear and supportive. In addition, or in particular of the community. Where do you want to go right there? And supportive hold on, of their individual.
In particular is fine.
Hold on, individual of their individual charges. In particular.
And or communities.
Hold on, and in particular
Yeah.
of the community strategic goals as developed. Okay, I'm going to read that again. Such a review should involve the select board and the commissions or committees and determine if the charge or mission of each remains clear and supportive of their clear and supportive, and in particular of the community strategic goals and as developed by the town master plan. Why don't we just say, we've already said this master plan thing.
But this is a separate
Yes.
subject.
I know, and supportive of their, and in particular of the communities. All right, hold on. Such a review should involve the select board and the commissions or committees and determine if the charge or mission of each remains clear and supportive, and in particular addressing the community strategic goals as developed, and in particular addressing. The community's strategic goals is developed in the town master plan and the select board strategic plan. The review will also discuss ways to promote ongoing coordination between the select board and we have to repeat that again, commissions and committees.
Well, I think it should be singular in this case because it's,
No, among themselves as well. The review will also discuss ways to promote ongoing coordination between the select board and the commissions and committees and between said entities. Okay, done. Do you want me to send this to everybody?
sure.
Okay, share. All right. Tucker, what is your email?
T Holland at,
It came up.
okay.
Campbell, what's yours?
CCOAST.
I got it, paper hanging.
Yep.
Okay. Curtis, I have yours. Rick, I have yours. Who am I missing? 1, 2, for myself. I already saw it. All right, there it is.
Okay. Let's see.
I think I had to misspell entities, however. Fix that, John. Fix
Yep,
the word
that's fine.
entities at the bottom, because I put too many titties in there.
Good T's.
T's and I's.
Okay, so is everyone good with that? Those two motions, we should probably do them separately for ease of clarity, et cetera. And we saw the note from Rick that his internet died on him.
It's
So
raining.
That's what I thought. I said, well,
Hey.
come-
things are tough in Squam.
It's raining.
Okay.
Ransomware, it's been hacked.
Hey,
No fooling. So should I move to, how do you want the first motion to be for because we're doing two motions, right?
I think that's right. I mean, unless people want to do this as one, but I think we were suggesting two. Okay. So the first one would be that the Town Government Study Committee endorses an annual joint meeting between all elected and anti boards and commissions, discuss collective community priorities as reflected in the town master plan and select board strategic plan and other areas of potential cooperation and concern.
So
And-
I have a slight modification to that sentence.
Yeah.
I might just say, to discuss collective community priorities as reflected in the town master plan and select board strategic plan, and to identify areas of potential cooperation and concern.
Where's that going?
So,
Yeah,
and-
first motion.
yeah, first motion, and to identify areas
The
of potential cooperation and concern.
Okay.
So remove other in lieu of that.
Okay. All right, so
I make a motion to adopt the recommendation as read by John and Tucker.
Second,
it's made second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Linda Williams?
Yep.
John, chair votes aye. Tucker Holland,
aye.
Curtis Barnes,
Aye.
Campbell Sutton,
Aye.
and Rick is absent. Okay. So you want, and do we want to do the next one
Yeah.
as well?
I would move to adopt the recommendation that the Town Government Study Committee further endorses a biannual review of the charge to each committee established by the Select Board and by state or local laws or regulations adopted by the town. Such a review should involve the Select Board and the commissions or committees and determine if the charge or mission of each remains clear and supportive, and in particular addressing the community strategic goals as developed in the town master plan and the Select Board strategic plan. The review will also discuss ways to promote ongoing coordination between the Select Board and the commissions and committees and between said entities. With a correction in spelling to
Yes.
entity.
All right,
Second,
motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion on this motion? Now let's do a roll call vote. Linda Williams,
Okay.
Tucker Holland,
aye.
Curtis Barnes,
Aye.
Campbell Sutton,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye as well. All right.
Did you want to go over what we did last night at the selectmen's meeting?
I think it's about, well, I'll tell you, yes. Short answer is yes. Long answer is just sort of, so finalizing our next steps for this report. And then we'll talk about the select board under other business. But for the next, so I will put this into, I'll put this into the memo. You all tell me, do you want me to redline it to add it or just throw it in there as a separate paragraph?
Throw it in.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw it in there as a separate paragraph.
So number 18, is that what?
Yes, exactly. Number 18, and
18?
we'll add some sort of fluffy language about what we were talking about here.
So can I make a motion that we adopt your report as written to date?
Well, I mean, if you,
Or
and I guess there's my question. I mean, do you want to do that? We have scheduled a meeting for tomorrow at 3. It's there. If we need to cancel. If we want to do it, we do it. If anybody has any other, I don't know if you want to go. I don't want to go through the report at this point, page by page. I'd say if you have comments or edits, let me know. I know, Campbell, thank you for sending your red line sort of typo changes, etc. I like to have someone can help clean up the formatting. That'd be awesome. So I don't know.
Had a chance to look at it completely yet.
Okay.
Pagination got a little strange.
Yeah, it did. It 100% did. And I'm not a Microsoft Word savant when it comes to formatting. I'll be the first to say that. And frankly, if I hit the tab button, it goes over like 3/4 of the page, and I don't.
Well, did you cut and paste a lot of it?
Oh, absolutely. There was a fair amount of cutting and pasting done for this one.
That's why the pagination is
100%.
But you got everything from Curtis and Rick and everything out of the town council red line, right? And everything we've already voted on.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all. I haven't
Oh,
got
yeah.
a chance to go through it all. I was just looking at the pagination and I got stuck there.
Yeah. Oh, the pagination and the indentation I know is not perfect.
You want to send me a Word document and I'll fix it?
I did.
I didn't know if it came in Word or PDF.
Word.
Okay.
But we'll need to add paragraph 18 to it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we want to try to make that vote on it now, or if you want to wait until it's the latest, greatest 100% final tomorrow. I'm okay either way. Just
wait, because Rick's not here
Yeah.
for his
Perfect.
and Linda's gonna go over
perfect.
it with, I don't have Word. Do I have Word? No, I have Apple, whatever.
Yeah, you've got pages. We can send it to you in PDF, or we can send it to you however you need.
I have pages. I get what you send. I'm just saying, you know, in terms of what I've read, I thought it was quite good. And like I said to you, I thought if there were more clarity on the importance of population in being the form of government, I thought that was a great save, and I appreciated Tucker's calling that in or texting that in.
Yes, that's a wise idea.
That is really where the rubber hits the road for us, is that we don't know what the population is. So we can't really recommend anything. And with COVID, the census has taken much longer than ever anticipated. So we're really sort of out there. So I thought maybe beefing that up with a point like that would be important.
Yeah. Okay. We can work on that. Okay. So let's unless anyone has any other.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
That's to answer Melissa's persistence on the 4 years and you haven't made a decision. Well, it's all population based as to what your opportunities are. And we did have people respond that prefer to mayoral situation, but it's all population based. So can't really go anywhere until you have some hard numbers.
Well, that is
it also wasn't 4 years. Let's be real here.
This is as an Curtis, your hand is up, and then we can segue into other business. Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry to say that I have to leave to go to Priscilla Reese's huge funeral at St. Paul's.
What time?
So,
What time is
11
that?
o'clock.
11?
Yeah, and socially distanced. I don't know how many people can
Right.
come in, which leads me to say I would like to see what you're going to fix and then finalize it tomorrow, if you don't mind.
It's fine. I think
So
that's where we're heading.
I have to go be Father Kurt. I'll see you later.
Okay, thank you.
Kurt,
Thank you. So, this is an excellent segue into the other. So, what we talked about, or the meeting. I mean, at the select board last evening. And Linda, if you want to start, go for it.
Well, Tucker was on there. You were there. I was there. So who's left here that didn't know anything? Campbell, is Rick back?
No, Rick's not on.
Also on there, I think, last night. So Campbell, John and I made a presentation. They are probably going to want to meet with us after they read the report, go over what we think is doable, what isn't doable. They asked why we didn't put any warrant articles in like that bunch of nut jobs did the last time, that got all defeated except for one. And that's why I said we didn't. I said, we want to make sure that there's buy-in from the town, from the selectmen, from the moderator before we put any warrant articles in. And the timing didn't work because we didn't get the thing from Lauren until the 5th of May, and we tried for months and years. So we just did not want to jump the gun and put stuff in that the selectmen didn't buy into. They seem to accept that.
did you?
Want to meet with us again, I guess, after sometime in July, I think that's, or end of June, I think that's when that's going to happen. And they want to meet with us to go over stuff to see what is doable and what isn't doable, because there may be a special town meeting in the fall.
Okay. I'm just wondering if if you guys suggested the town moderator be involved in this discussion on
Yes.
Oh, it's funny. I don't think that came up, Linda, but it makes a whole lot of sense, especially in light of the fact of. I mean, I think the one that, interestingly, I think the one that raised their eyebrows in the
Was the appointment of us.
yes. I was going to say that I thought of all the controversial things that we mentioned, I mean, I thought we were going to get flack for Parks and Rec. I thought we were going to get, comments about this, that, or the other thing. That seemed to be the one that really raised the eyebrows of some of the select board, which I'm surprised, because I would think that it'd be one less appointment that they need to do, if after hearing how busy they are, et cetera. But I can talk to Sarah. I'll be happy to talk to Sarah, or when we schedule this with the select board, say we should have the moderator involved.
Yeah, I
in
did
this.
mention that, John. I said, with
Yeah.
us, with her and with the moderator to go
Yeah.
over that stuff.
The moderator is essential in
Yeah.
this, and she does, she is the head of the town meeting, essentially, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that it's essential that she be there, and if she's not there, I don't think we should meet until she can be there. So
I think that's fine.
full discussion between the select board and the moderator and the committee instead of piecing it out. You see what I mean? Trying to, again, I'm really big on, like, I like a whole cake.
Yeah. Oh, I think it makes a lot of sense. It really does. I mean, especially in light of this last motion that we made. I mean, this
Well,
is
This
what we're talking about.
that we've gotten from the town, I just feel like,
Well, it
Christie backed us up because she had been on the committee as well.
also had Melissa.
Yeah, right.
That's, I mean, I
Remember,
wouldn't-
Melissa's new to this thing. She came in when we were already involved with this, and so she had nothing to do with setting us up or knew the history of what had been going on.
She was a member of the committee before she was on the select board. I mean, she
Way back.
she's first started. I don't know how long she was on.
Years
But she was there. Let's not forget our history here. So anyway,
it was
anyway,
the main question that they had. They didn't have anything to say on anything else other, I mean,
I
They
mean,
appreciated all the work we did. They were looking forward to reading the report and moving forward with some of the suggestions. They wanted to know if we made recommendations or we voted on stuff, and we explained to them the process of this. And we spent some time talking about the fact that the biggest issue is always going to be the form of government in town meeting.
well, and cynically, I think it's going to be a very interesting discussion that we have, because because obviously we'll have it after town meeting, and I have a feeling I would not be surprised if the tenor of our meeting with the select board and the moderator depends on how town meeting goes. In other words, if things are an absolute disaster for what, it rains, you name the number, there's too much traffic, the cars are beeping, whatever. I imagine it's, we need to fix town meeting. We have to fix town meeting. Of course.
Well, I think that I think it is very important. I mean, the big topic is the form of government. And I think it's very important that we say it would have been irresponsible to make a recommendation when we're on the cusp of getting the census information, which could take the number of options available to the community from 2 to 4, like overnight. So it only makes sense that any recommendation follows that determination, as well as following greater education of the voters about the options that exist to them. So, and that's like a year-long process. It's not something that can happen in just a couple months. And then the other thing is that, as you pointed out, we would have had technical amendments, if you will, to the charter, had we received the information from Lauren back in January or December when the select board was finalizing the warrant. So, or whenever they ended up doing it. But I think we need to hit both of those things head on. I mean, that was the essence of Melissa's questions, was like, you guys have been at this at 4 years and you don't have anything on the town meeting, like, what have you been doing? That was sort of the tenor of it.
That's what it felt to me, but I'm
well, I mean, it was polite enough, but that
was what it was. That's fine.
But I mean, and it's not, I guess, like, in her defense, it's not unreal. If we're talking about, we've had 70 meetings, we've done, gone off island, we've done all of this stuff. And yeah, we have a report, but like, we don't have one article. Yeah, there's there are reasons. Here are the
Right.
two main reasons why.
Well, we
And
couldn't meet for 6 months because of
Oh, yeah.
COVID either.
well, that's not the way to go on this. I don't think.
But we threw it all out. We threw it all on the wall about going away, having public hearings, considering all this stuff. We put all that on the table.
Yeah.
I have a quick
It's fine.
question.
Yes, Campbell, go ahead.
So in the report, as I read it, one of our solutions for the government's inefficiencies, or however you want to put it, is the biannual town meeting. Isn't that one of our recommendations to solve current problems
Yep.
with the
Yeah.
open meeting as it sits?
semi-annual.
That's
And-
going to be the biggest thing we put.
If
put in
that's true, perhaps it should be under, it should be the next thing in line from form of government.
Hmm.
Maybe have that paragraph and motion, maybe just to further emphasize or support the
Okay.
idea that there is a solution to this. Because if they're talking a special town meeting already, which they do every year, and let's get away from that. That's ridiculous. Let's just say, yes, we are going to have a town meeting in March, and we're going to have one in October after Columbus weekend.
Well, I
Bang.
think it's a good thing to bring up, because when we discussed it, I think it's good to bring that up in conjunction with our form of government topic with the board, because like a change in the form of government is a big deal. And so when we talked about it, I recall us saying that going to a semi-annual town meeting might address some of the issues with, not all, but some of the issues with the current single annual town meeting, and is a way of, call it incremental improvement, allowing time for the voters to, again, absorb, other options that are out there and further consider whether that's the direction they want to go.
And participation, I think. I've always found, I'm in the trades, this is a massively busy time of year for the trades, all the way through July 4th from, April, the 1st of April. And I think it's really hard to get people to come to town meeting because they're working, 7 days a week, week
especially
after
on a
week.
Saturday in June.
I work 14 hours, 10 to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't take Memorial Day off. I mean, and I'm just in one trade, and I'm on jobs where other people are working too. So I know, everyone's very, very busy. So I'm thinking something in the fall would have potential to garner greater participation.
I think
Well,
it
plus a lot of the
would.
Snowbirds are here. Remember, a lot of the snowbirds don't leave until Christmas or Thanksgiving. So they're here in the fall where they're not here in March or April.
I mean, I think that ultimately the reality is, like, we've outgrown annual town meeting as a appropriate form of government. There is no, like, in the idea that you want voter participation, where are you going to put 9,000 people? Let's say we land on that perfect Saturday in October, and everyone is not busy, and everyone has a babysitter, and everyone can make it. Where are you going to put 9,000 people? Not possible.
On Zoom.
Yeah, right.
No, it's just
No, it's a good point.
We need a different form of government, but that's going to take some time.
That's right. All right, well, this is good. So that was the gist of the meeting last night. Sort of stay tuned for the follow-up meeting. I will make a simple point at this right now. As far as I know, and as far as I'm concerned, our terms are up on June 30th. So yeah, that's how I feel too. We've I'm happy to have sort of the follow-up meeting, etc. But we're at the end of this particular committee span. lifespan. If they want to set up another one in the next year or two to put together motions, warrant articles, et cetera, that's fantastic. That's on them. But as far as I can tell, as far as I'm concerned, we're out at June 30th. So,
And I think the only reason for a follow-up meeting at this time would be to coordinate presentation if and when we get together with the select board and the town moderator. That would, otherwise, I think June 5th is, or 6th, or whenever we send you flowers, John, and chocolates, and thanks for all of your work.
very well.
Done, or maybe just being done would be the gift.
That may be the greatest reward of all.
All right, guys, I gotta get going. I gotta take a shower and go to a funeral here.
Likewise. All right. So can we have a motion to adjourn at 10 a.m., please?
I make a motion.
So
to
moved.
adjourn.
All
Second.
right. Motion made and second. We'll do a roll call vote. Campbell Sutton. Wait. Next meeting tomorrow, June 4th at 3 p.m.
Yep.
All right. We'll do roll call vote for adjournment. Campbell Sutton,
Aye.
Tucker Holland,
Aye.
Linda Williams,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye as well. All right. I'll send out a revised memo. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.